long time no see. I've been sobering up since the last videos. I was in a severe crisis, so I had to get clean. So I've been on rehab, been in rehab and back, and well, all set to do another video now. So I just had to do this video because the immense severity in the astral is unbearable, because like it wasn't enough with the Belial and the demons abusing me so severely under the governance of the gods, Jupiter, and even the masters, Moria and Hilarion, Serapis Bay, Saturn, Jupiter. For 2.5 years, I have fought to get overcome and rid myself of Senunim, Lilith's, and Belial's abuse under the supervision of these leaders, these advanced gods and masters. But instead of fully really stopping the abuse of the demons, they turned to and Isis has also been a leader here, managing this to help me overcome this. But instead of making sure that the Senunim, Lilith, and Belial was stopped, they decided to become just like them. I mean, serial killer style, severely abusing demons. And so many gods are here. It's Shiva, it's Set, it's I mean, all the big gods. It's Odin, it's and so many female gods, Venus and Lady Venus, Sanat Kumara, the Master Sanat Kumara and his wife Lady Venus, and Christ is here, and so many gods are watching, doing nothing but becoming just like the demons, severely serial killer style abusive beings. Instead of helping me get rid of their demons abuse, they have now turned into exact copies of the demons, now tormenting me instead of the demons. Saturn and Lilith is the worst. Saturn and Lilith is the worst now. And they are planning to abuse me just as severe as Belial and Senunim and Lilith, instead of helping me. And they have abused these demons. They took charge, these gods and masters, to help me in disguise of helping me. And instead they put these demons in a trap. And to the tormenting levels of abuse, they have put Belial and and also Beelzebub and Paimon and many more of them. They are trapped. They are trapped, imprisoned by these gods and masters, being severely abused by them. Moria and Serapis Bey, they abused Belial so severely. They smashed his head and made him schizophrenic. Instead of helping him, they I managed to get him under full decrease to full rehabilitation. He was cooperative, but they trapped him and betrayed him, and they abused him so severely, and they crushed his head so he became schizophrenic. And Jupiter did this to Senunim also when she was in severe crisis, because she was so abused by Saturn. She abused him too, but Saturn abused her severely. And she was at the verge of, insanity. And when she became insane, because she's borderline, so she switched into schizophrenia, and she bounced around, and her condition was so severe, and I lay trapped, abused by Saturn, I think it was, and I said, you have to calm her down, you have to take her into, because I am a mental nurse, I said, you have to take her aside and calm her down, keep her safe. But instead Jupiter gave command to kill her. So all the demons just scavenged on her. When she was at her worst in the schizophrenic stage, they abused her and raped her and shoved my soul into her being. They took my soul and shoved that into her being and made her so sick and schizophrenic. She just jumped around, changed shape, and I mean, the abuse was so severe, and she was so hysterical. She just screamed and jumped around, like a schizophrenic, in total panic. The only reason they helped her and brought her back was because they couldn't handle her, couldn't live with her full-blown schizophrenia. They couldn't tend to her, so they had to help her get back. But I mean, to the extent these gods, who I have screamed for help in torment to the gods to get rid of the abuse, but all they do is come here and abuse me instead. So now, after I had overcome Belial and Senunim's and Lilith's abuse, they have now turned to abuse me so severely that I just have had to get this out, because, and Isis is also severely abusive. All these women here are just abusing me out of envy, and they want to become torment angels, and they want to be just as abusive as the demons, because they have in their insanity come up with an idea that it's tough and it's prestige to be the highest in the abuse hierarchy. And so they are just on me. They abused me so severely this night that I just screamed and screamed, and I don't know what to do, because there's so much false information out in the spiritual community that these masters are so kind and like saints. They are so terribly evil and so terribly abusive. You have no idea. They are destroying. They are planning to destroy my life fully, and abuse me again, just like Belial and Senunim and Lilith did. So instead, when you call for help from the gods, they just go and instead of helping you, they turn into serial killer style, real sadistic abusers instead. It's I mean, it's so severe. It's so heartbreaking, and it's so devastating, and it's I mean, have you ever heard of something like, if like humans, if we have serial killers, we have systems, we have police, we are to secure the safety of the population and stuff. But in the astral, when you ask for help and the highest gods and the masters come, they just turn into serial killers and kill you instead. Instead of helping you, they don't want to help you. They just want to savage on you and kill you, just like the demons. They rather savage and kill you instead of helping you. And the demons are trapped. They are hostage taken in their care and are being severely abused night and day. It's a war. It's a sacrificial war. And it was Saturn who declared sacrifice. He started taking everyone as sacrifices of the demons, and the demons had to respond and take the gods as sacrifices. And I mean, to the extent that these gods are evil, they're so much worse than the demons, because they come and torment and torture you upon the abuse you're already suffered from the demons. And even though you have overcome and are on relative good foot with the demons, they still torment and abuse you because they feel so sorry for themselves having to be here. Because of course the demons have to abuse them back in self-defense. But the gods are so messed up in their grandiosity, in their narcissism, that they just they abuse them, and me totally no empathy, no, it's savaging, it's tormenting, it's torture, it's I could never imagine it would be like this. So it's just a warning. If you're in black magic and you have problems with the demons, this is what gods like Isis. I mean, Isis just she aims to be at the top of the abuse hierarchy as a woman, and just abuse everybody just to stroke her sick fucking narcissistic ego, and with no cares to the damage and the pain and the suffering of the ones she abuses. It's I mean, here the same. You have Aphrodite. She hasn't been so active, but it's I mean, with the women, it's Maat. She's so fucking disturbed and so fucking abusive, and these women, they are just insane on abusing me because of envy, because I'm beautiful, and a lot of the gods and demons have been in love with me. They do everything to abuse me. I mean, just to prove to themselves that they own all men, and they have driven the men into such insanity that they are just forcing the men to abuse me. And then the men are abusing themselves, and they are abusing each other to abuse me, the gods. And the demons are just watching and just also being abused severely, because the gods are blaming them for everything. They take no responsibility whatsoever. They just torment and abuse them recklessly, instead of helping. So I mean, you black magicians, beware of this, and take stand for the demons. And I mean, it's a war here in the astral between the gods and the demons, and I'm caught right in the middle. And Senunim, when she abused me, she turned all the female gods against me, as a scapegoat, and they bought it, her manipulation, everything. So they're just on me, constantly abusing me, in her name, you can say. And and the Galactic Federation and the aliens are all around doing nothing. The Arcturian woman here, as a representative for the Arcturians, just said just take your shit. So just being severely just tortured by these gods, that's what I'm supposed to be. Just that's taking my shit, being abused severely by the gods, because the gods have to get this. It was Isis who started it. She had to have her life experience of being abused, and naively, and Jupiter just agreed out of naive compassion. Of course, you have to have abuse experiences. So, I mean, it has turned the gods into just tormenting, totally distorted, mentally ill, abusive, recklessly abusive beings, and there's no stop to it, because the aliens surrounding the fortress, or the box as I call it, they're doing nothing to end this, or stop the gods from abusing me. And it's just the gods have to have you, and you just have to be abused. After all I've been through, it's 4 years. First Belial for 2 years, severe abuse, and then the struggle to get him at a safe distance, and then they are just pushing him towards me to abuse me. Saturn and the god, they just want me so ill, because they are so stuck in their grandiosity and their kingly. They shouldn't be here, and they just blame me for having to be here, that I called for help. They abuse me for being a victim, being held hostage by Lilith and Senunim and Belial. They blame me for having to be here to help them, so they just abuse me. They can't take responsibility for their own actions at all. They just blame me for their abuse and their torture and their torment. It's set this here. So many, almost all, Indra, Thor, Odin, Uranus, Anu, Enlil's father, and Enlil's wife. And I mean, they are triangulating in their wives in this to turn them against me and abuse me, because the wives are jealous. Because like Enlil, he has been in love with me, and he triangulated his wife into this and turned her against me, and so I have both Enlil and his wife against me, abusing me, and there's no stop to this. It's just they have just had gone into consensus that they are allowed to live out their narcissistic abuse against me, and they, even though they know that I've done everything to get away from narcissistic abuse. I've lived under narcissistic abuse all my life, and it destroyed my life. I have severe chronic illness, mental issues, and chronic damage after all this abuse. Still they do this to me, and instead of helping me. So I just wanted to let you know how the gods treat you in the astral. If you call for help, and the masters, if you call for help to get rid of the abuse, like we have the police who and authorities and prisons and stuff. If you ask them for help, they just turn into serial killer abusers to torture you instead of helping you. It's and I don't know if I because Saturn and Enlil started to escalate the abuse towards me this night, and I screamed for help. I screamed to all everyone who was watching this in severe torment. Why aren't you doing anything? Nobody did anything. They just watch, thinking the gods have to have these life experience. It's a distortion of the second ray, and you can see it in the spiritual feminine community amongst the channelers and stuff. You have to have, it's okay to have life experiences of torment and abuse and stuff but it's just a narcissistic distortion of the second ray that is coming in strongly now from Sirius as we move towards Sirius, as it has shifted from Pisces to Aquarius. It's a new age. So even though they know it's a distortion, to validate that you are allowed to have abuse experiences on other beings' expense, they still do it. Because the gods they are so spoiled. They think they're entitled to behave in any matter. If they want abuse experiences on other beings to reach the top of the hierarchy of abusers in the astral, they just do it. And they're allowed to do it. It's and I mean the level of torment I'm being put through, and I cry for help, but no one does anything. So and I mean Isis is skewed beyond recognition, just abusing people to be at the top of the abuse hierarchy. And I mean Christ is here, allowing all this torture and torment on other beings, and they are abusing themselves amongst each other to be the best torture, slaughtering beings in the hierarchy. It's so disgusting, and it's so. I mean, and I just want to get away from it. I don't want to have any part of it. But no one helps me get them away or help me. No one helps me get away from it. So, just a warning to all of you who are into spirituality. It's disgusting what the gods and the beings do in the astral to each other and to you, and how they behave. And I mean crushing Belial's skull so he became schizophrenic. They crushed his skull so he became schizophrenic, and they did the same to Senunim in another manner. The abuse is so severe. It's rape, and it's psychological, it's physical, it's all the abuse you can imagine. Constantly I'm put through sleep deprivation, and they torment me in the night because I'm totally defenseless, waking me up in my sleep just to abuse me. And the gods now. Because they want to punish me for having been abused by Lilith, Senunim, and Belial, instead of helping me. They are punishing me and abusing me severely. yeah, I have to go now, but yeah, spirituality. When you thought you were, if you really thought you were going to get to live in love and light and be free and live in peace, this is what the gods do. Yeah, lots of love, and have it great.